It was a military strategy that shocked the world. A method of warfare so fast, so devastating, that entire nations fell within weeks. This was Blitzkrieg, lightning war, and it changed the face of modern combat forever. But how did it work? Why was it so effective? And how did it shape warfare for generations to come? This is the story of Hitler's Blitzkrieg. To understand Blitzkrieg, we have to go back to World War I. The war was slow, bloody, and fought in trenches. Millions died for mere yards of land. Germany, humiliated after defeat, sought a new way to fight, one that avoided the horrors of trench warfare. Military thinkers like Heinz Guderian envisioned a strategy that combined speed, coordination, and surprise. The idea was simple. Instead of prolonged battles, they would strike fast, break enemy lines, and push forward relentlessly, never giving the enemy time to recover. When Hitler rose to power, he fully embraced this revolutionary idea and transformed it into a doctrine that would soon shake the world. September 1st, 1939. The world watched in horror as Germany launched a full-scale invasion of Poland. But this was no ordinary invasion. The German war machine unleashed Blitzkrieg for the first time in real combat. It started with waves of Stuka dive bombers screaming through the skies, targeting roads, railways, and communication hubs. This created chaos and severed Polish command structures. Next came the panzer divisions, swift, heavily armed tank units that broke through enemy defenses at key points, bypassing strongholds and encircling Polish troops. German infantry, transported quickly by trucks, moved in behind the tanks to mop up resistance. Within weeks, Poland had fallen. The speed, coordination, and brutality of Blitzkrieg had stunned the world. After Poland, the world braced for another slow war. But in the spring of 1940, Hitler struck again. This time, his target was Western Europe. The Netherlands, Belgium, and France were all taken by storm. The Germans outmaneuvered the heavily fortified French Maginot Line by going through the dense Ardennes forest, an area thought to be impassable for large armies. Blitzkrieg worked like a well-oiled machine. First, air superiority was established by the Luftwaffe, ensuring that German forces had the skies clear for their operations. Next, panzer divisions struck weak points in enemy lines, rapidly breaking through and racing deep into enemy territory. Motorized infantry followed, securing captured areas, while artillery and support units kept up the pressure. French and British forces, overwhelmed by the speed of the attack, had no time to regroup. Within 6 weeks, France fell, and Hitler stood victorious. In 1941, Hitler made a critical mistake. Believing that Blitzkrieg was unstoppable, he turned his war machine eastward towards the vast lands of the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in history, began on June 22, 1941. Over 3 million German soldiers, backed by tanks, aircraft, and artillery, stormed into Soviet territory. At first, Blitzkrieg worked just as it had in France. The Soviet Union was caught off guard, and entire Soviet armies were encircled and destroyed. Cities like Kiev and Smolensk fell, and millions of Soviet troops were either killed or captured. But Blitzkrieg had a weakness. It relied on rapid movement and short, decisive campaigns. The sheer size of the Soviet Union stretched German supply lines thin. The brutal Russian winter, combined with fierce Soviet resistance, brought the German advance to a halt. Blitzkrieg had finally met its match. By 1943, Blitzkrieg was failing. At Stalingrad, German forces were trapped and annihilated. The once powerful panzer divisions were now struggling to defend against the growing strength of the Soviet Red Army. Meanwhile, in the West, the Allies had studied Blitzkrieg and used it against the Germans. The invasion of Normandy, known as D-Day, used rapid advances, combined arms tactics, and air superiority to break through German defenses. Germany, once the master of Blitzkrieg, was now on the defensive. By 1945, Hitler's empire was in ruins, and Blitzkrieg was no longer enough to save it. Even though Germany lost the war, Blitzkrieg changed military strategy forever. The idea of speed, coordination, and overwhelming force became the foundation of modern warfare. Countries around the world studied and adapted Blitzkrieg principles. The U.S. used rapid armored advances in the Gulf War, and modern airstrikes follow similar principles of shock and precision. From Cold War battle doctrines to modern-day conflicts, Blitzkrieg's legacy remains. It proved that wars would no longer be fought over years in trenches, but in days, even hours, with coordinated high-speed attacks. However, it also showed the limits of overwhelming force. Without proper logistics and strategic depth, even the fastest armies can collapse. Blitzkrieg was more than just a strategy. It was a revolution in warfare, a lesson in both power and its limits, and a reminder that no matter how fast or powerful an army is, war always comes at a cost. The millions who suffered and died because of Blitzkrieg serve as a stark reminder that war, no matter how advanced, is always a tragedy. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep history alive.